Good morning, y'all. A&J here, and we're back with the best of pro wrestling and sports talk, the best of sports and pro wrestling talk. Either way, you want the best of it, you come right here. And of course, we're not going to waste any time. Got a couple or a few different, definitely got a few good ones for you. And we're actually going to start here with Gilbert Arenas. Interestingly enough, not all that long ago, he actually was on ESPN's First Take. I've talked about it before. Follow the hell out of First Take. He was on there actually saying that the Bucks are the bigger threat to the Celtics as far as the Eastern Conference is concerned. And I found that to be pretty interesting. Others would go on to say that that really isn't the case. The biggest threat to Cleveland or to the Boston Celtics is easily the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't think there's any question about it. But something that he did point out is that we are sleeping on the Milwaukee Bucks, and we absolutely are. They're as dangerous a team as anybody. A former championship team. I mean, that was of course under Mike Budenholzer. They're currently under Doc Rivers as head coach, and honestly, I gotta say, if nothing else, there's certainly a chance they could make some noise. Acquiring a Kyle Kuzma in exchange for Chris Middleton certainly has been beneficial for them. And if nothing else, I feel as if they're certainly going to be right there in the thick of it. It's going to come down to Boston and Cleveland no matter what, but the Bucks will have something to say, and going into next season, I think they're going to make a very, very impactful statement, like I said, but that's probably about as good as it gets. And we'll just have to see. Playoff stretch is coming up. Certainly we're going to be talking about March Madness here in a bit. Look forward to that as well. That being said, we're going to move on to another interesting news nugget, which is significant for a variety of reasons. Hall of Fame NFL head coach and Fox NFL analyst Jimmy Johnson has announced that he'll be retiring from the Fox set, and honestly, I don't think you could go wrong either way. Jimmy Johnson is an institution of football, no matter how you slice it up. Played college at Arkansas, along with, interestingly enough, Jerry Jones, Cowboys owner. We all know the history behind that. But going along into that history, of course, there's the fact that his coaching career spans the course of 2 decades. Started in 1979. Retired from coaching in 1999 to ultimately embark on his aforementioned journey on Fox, which has spanned more than 2 decades now, actually 2.5 when you get to thinking about it. But realistically, this man is as important to football as anybody that you could name off the top of your head. One national championship at the University of Miami, 2 Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, it's just crazy what they might have accomplished had he actually stayed there, and had there not been such significant differences between himself and Jerry Jones. Of course, things have been patched up. Johnson is finally in the Cowboys Ring of Honor, which deservedly so, by the way, because if nothing else, I feel as if, sure, the Cowboys wound up getting another Super Bowl without him under Barry Switzer, but what have they done since then? I mean, that should just go to show how much respect is deserved for a man the likes of Jimmy Johnson, and how much he should be revered. And again, you just can't go wrong. I mean, he's definitely been instrumental for the Fox crew, but we've seen a little bit less of him on TV, and it certainly makes sense at this point. You're going to have up-and-coming analysts coming along. Of course, you've got Gronk. I believe you have Howie Long on there still, Michael Strahan, amongst others, Terry Bradshaw, of course. Who knows how much longer he'll be a part of that as well. Nonetheless, definitely kudos and big salute to Jimmy Johnson on an incredible run in football. And with that, we are going to hit the breaking news portion of the video. Of course, y'all have already heard about this by now, I'm sure. Kyrie Irving is going to be out for the season, and this is as a result of a torn ACL. I mean, I don't see how it wouldn't have come down to that one way or another. ACL just tends to end an awful lot of seasons one way or another. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. One thing I will say about this is this has got to be a really, really big nightmare scenario situation for Nico Harris. I mean, he actually pulled the trigger on the deal that brought in Anthony Davis, who really hasn't seen an awful lot of time, is actually still out with injury as far as last time I checked. And of course, this doesn't make things any better at all. And of course, now with Luka, the Mavericks are actually now in a 10th spot. Lakers, meanwhile, are the number 2 seed. I mean, let's think about that for a second. They made this trade, and a lot of people weren't thinking a whole lot of the trade in terms of what it meant for the Lakers, at least in terms of right now, anyway. But where the Mavs were concerned, this was a very much a right now move, but right now, things aren't looking so hot. And again, just turning the page, looking at the Lakers with Luka Doncic and what he's meant for them. I mean, again, number 2 in the West right now. I don't think that's going to mean an awful lot. If you got a healthy Grizzlies team, which they're dealing with their share of injuries right now, Jaw's been in and out of the lineup, and of course, you've got the rest of the crew there. J.J. Jackson, of course, Desmond Bane, Zach Edey, who I wanted with the Chicago Bulls. I mean, they're still going to have something to say as far as the Western Conference is concerned. I've talked about the Golden State Warriors. Going to bring them up a bit more in a video as I talk more about the upcoming playoff run. And then you got to think about the number 1 seed in the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I talked about in terms of potentially giving Kevin Durant in the upcoming offseason. Really and truly, this is again a nightmare situation for Mavericks fans. I mean, if you thought they were tripping when they had all the caskets and all that other shit going on when the Luka trade was announced, oh my goodness, I can't imagine how they're acting about it right now. I mean, geez, they just can't get right. We talked earlier about the Dallas Cowboys and what Jimmy Johnson meant to them, how they haven't been the same since. Now they really got to be in shambles out there. Gosh, I actually feel bad for them. I mean, not so much on the Cowboys aspect, but hey, I mean, it is what it is. Nonetheless, definitely significant shit here. I mean, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it, you know, and definitely wishing the best for Kyrie. Hopefully he is able to make a speedy recovery and the Mavs come out firing strong next season. And I gotta say, if there's gonna be a threat for the Celtics, that'll probably be it. I'll leave it at that for right now. Gotta get going. Got one more I'm gonna shoot out to y'all. So with that in mind, I thank you for coming through. Definitely like, share, subscribe, and let me know what y'all think down below. This has been your time with A&J, and I appreciate you spending it with me.